Hello, my name is Sebbi and welcome back to the coffee break in Minecraft. Today is Sunday, September 8th, 2024. I just returned from my adventures in Faroe Islands. It was fantastic. It was downright amazing. I only was a week away, but it feels like I've been away for so much longer. At the same time, it also feels like I have been not away for long enough, and I should have stayed there for just a little bit longer. However, let's not get ahead of ourselves and start from the beginning while these dolphins are playing with the string. That's cute. That's very cute. I left Monday early morning. The evening before, I pre-ordered a taxi for 5:30 a.m. The taxi arrived a couple of minutes ahead of time and was patiently waiting for me. So this was cool. As expected, the ride to the train station was no problem whatsoever at this time of day. Got to the train station. The train even was waiting for me. It was cool. I immediately could board the train and sit there and wait for the journey to begin. So this was super cool. It was super convenient. I arrived, I guess, even in time at Frankfurt Airport. The train station is at Terminal 1. My flight to Paris Charles de Gaulle, where I had my layover, left from Terminal 2. There are two ways, or rather three ways, how you can get to Terminal 2. One way is to walk, which is definitely not a great idea. The second way is to take a shuttle bus that commutes every 5 to 10 minutes. And the last option is to take the so-called Skyrail. The Skyrail is a little train that travels between the two terminals. All the time I've been to Frankfurt Airport, I haven't managed to find that stupid Skyrail. I was always trying to go for it, but in the end I ended up using that stupid bus, which is not convenient at all. This time, for whatever reason, I managed to find the Skyrail, and yes, it is super convenient. So if you fly via Frankfurt, if you arrive at Frankfurt, if you do something at Frankfurt and you have to travel from Terminal 1 to Terminal 2 or vice versa, take the Skyrail, look for it. It's definitely worth the effort. I can fully confirm it right now. Don't take the stupid bus. The bus is no good. So yeah, made it to the Skyrail for some lucky reason. Quickly found the baggage drop-off, dropped my backpack off, and received my ticket, as well as some directions where to go to get to my gate. I had to wait there for a little bit, of course, because I arrived well ahead of time, but not too much ahead of time, so that the waiting time was too long. Basically, everything went right. Everything went according to the plan, and that's cool. That's super fantastic. So we waited there for the gate to open, and then we had to wait for a bus to arrive. The bus that brings us to the apron where the plane was waiting for us. So, normal procedure, got on board, found my seat, got comfortable in my seat. I'm currently thinking, was there someone sitting on the seat next to me, or had I the row for myself? I think I had the row for myself. I haven't really paid attention to that one, huh? That's strange. That's very strange. This is completely slipped my mind. But anyways, we at some point managed to leave Frankfurt and to fly to Paris, where I had my layover. The layover took place at the Charles de Gaulle International Airport, which is humongous. The airport is crazy. Not only it took ages to taxi after landing to our final holding point, it also took me ages to get from the terminal, the gate, wherever I arrived, to the gate where my flight to Faroe Islands left. First I had to take a bus, then I had to walk, and this walking was quite significant. I think I'm not quite sure for how long, but it felt like a very long time that I had to walk to get to the final place. I'm not quite sure what the Paris people are doing, but I feel like they should up their airport game and improve their airport game, especially because I had to leave the transit area, so I had to go through security for a second time that day. And yeah, that's not fun. I mean, it was alright, as I already planned ahead and I packed my things accordingly, so security is not so much of an issue, especially as I had most of the bulky, well, except for my very important things, everything my luggage that was dropped off. So security was somewhat alright, but still a tiny nuisance. After getting through security again, finally found my gate. There was luckily some kind of bakery situation, snack situation, baguette situation, and in the end I ended up with a tomato mozzarella baguette, which was good. Oh, it was really nice. I also had a energy bar with me, just in case I took something with me that I can get some energy in case I don't find anything. So I had to wait for my flight there. And yeah, finally it was time to board. Flight to Faroe Islands. This time I remember that I had the entire row for myself, which was super cool. It was super convenient. The plane felt half empty on the flight to Faroe, to Varga Airport, which felt a little bit strange, but okay. In the end we arrived, and the arrival is something special. The arrival was really something special, super special, especially as that day it was a bit cloudy around Faroe Islands, so couldn't spot the islands from the distance or so. As we sank through the clouds, all of a sudden first cliffs appeared, and yeah, we continued to descend, fly in parallel to those cliffs. The descent continued. At some point we were at the same level of the cliffs. Then we were below the cliffs, and the houses were very close to us. And then we had touchdown. So this is really a cool approach. You apparently fly through a fjord to get to the runway. And yes, you actually fly through the fjord. I mean, I stayed pretty close to the airport, so I inspected that approach pretty closely. I just wished I could have had cockpit view for that approach, because this must have been really amazing and really spectacular. Anyways, we arrived at Faroe. And yeah, as soon as I got out of the plane, it felt like, wow, the air was nice, the view was fantastic. I mean, the scenery was fantastic. The view was not that fantastic due to the clouds and stuff. Also, it was so much more relaxed, simply because, I mean, it's just, this is a little bit like the fjord, the fjord I was just talking about. So the landscape, the nature looks beautiful, and the air was refreshing. I finally escaped this stupid hot 30 degrees Celsius and more situation. So this was super pleasant. This was super cool. As there was just a singular plane. Baggage unloading didn't take so much time, so I quickly could retrieve my... Oh, this is an interesting sleeping position. I wanted to sleep... Oh, there are bees. I wanted to sleep a little bit more behind. And what's going on here? This is like I'm not quite sure. Like a continental drift. Are two plates drifting apart or so? What's going on here? It's kind of interesting situation. Oh, we have even more waterfall there. So yeah, this was super convenient. Picking up my car also super convenient. Right next to the terminal is the second building for the car rental services. I apparently was the only one having booked from the company I booked from, because no one else was standing there. I had not waited in queue or anything like that. Simply get there, get the keys, get the portable internet access point, which is super important, as the Faroe Islands are not included in my contract, in the roaming contract. So I received a text message after arrival, like, you can use your telephone as you would do. We have roaming here, but internet is blocked until you select a payment or select an option. There are two options, and both options were not really a great thing, like getting 50 megabytes for, I don't know, 15 euros or something like this. It was absolutely ridiculous. Or getting 100 megabytes for 29.99 euros. So just hilarious what they did. So I was happy that I booked that wireless internet access point for being outside while driving the car and so on. So it was super convenient. The car rental person spent lots of time explaining where to park the car when I return it. But he forgot to mention that the place where they have their parking slots for that car rental company is not the place where you find your car when you pick your car up. So I left the car rental building, walked over the parking area looking for my car. No car to be found. So after doing a full circle, I got back to the guy, saying, hey, where's the car? Then he said, hey, did you check that secret parking area? I have never mentioned before. No, because you haven't mentioned it. But yeah, there should be your car. So I got there. And indeed, there was a car. And the car it was the Hyundai i20. I was kind of intrigued by as a personal car for here, my home area, by the Hyundai N20, so the sports version of it. So I was super happy to basically test drive a car. I'm interested in it, and wow, the car felt good. The car really handled nicely and had a kind of impressive acceleration. So this was super cool. This was really, really amazing. So was really happy. Was really happy to get that car and had a lot of fun. This car even handled pretty well on a gravel road, but that's a different part of that story. We'll get to this later. I mean, not in this episode, I guess, but at some point we will get to gravel road experience. Yeah, picked up the car and started driving. So I thought, okay, I'm close to the airport, but I didn't expect that the town, the village where I stayed was so close to the airport. Basically, before I even understood what the car actually is doing or how to operate the car, I mean, understanding where all those knobs are and what to do with all those switches and buttons and things, I arrived at the town. Finding the Airbnb was a little bit tricky because it was a very narrow, very small road, small street even, and the house number was a little bit hidden, so I didn't spot my house right away. I had to do a full circle, but then managed to find it, pull in, and yeah, get situated. The Airbnb, the house I rented, was fantastic. This was such a beautiful place. It would have been also a good thing for a small little family, but I enjoyed the space for myself. So this was cool. Really beautiful decorated, beautiful illuminated. They even labeled the switches for the lights so that you know what switch to press to get the lights on and what lights. So it was really the perfect place. I was super happy. Right after basically checking into the Airbnb, I grabbed my running clothes because I needed some activity, some sports. So I went for a quick run through the town, explored the town, found where everything is. Found out that the grocery store is only 50 meters away from my Airbnb, which turned out to be super convenient for the rest of the stay. And yeah, it unfortunately started to drizzle a little bit. This was basically the only time I really had rain. So this was cool. It was amazing that only on the day of arrival there was some rain while I was running. After getting back, got some groceries, so got some cereals for breakfast, some noodles for dinner. Basically all the most important things that I survive. Then I went for a quick drive to just explore a little bit the surrounding areas, get a better understanding of what's going on. But I noticed, okay, I'm a bit tired after this, and also there's not much view, so I drove to a spot, to a nearby little village I explored the next day. And thanks to the drizzle and the foggy situation, it didn't feel like, okay, that's super impressive. It was just, okay, it's alright. As I got there the next day, it was so much different, so beautiful. So yeah, I basically aborted my initial approach to explore a little bit the surrounding area and made some dinner. edited some videos, or rather edited a YouTube short. You can watch all those shorts on the other YouTube channel. Yeah, that was the day of arrival. Man, I spent so much time just talking about how I got there, and we haven't even started with the true expedition. So yeah, then the next day I started with a run, and I ran basically along the road I was trying to explore the day before, but it was too cloudy. I haven't seen something, and then the next day, beautiful weather, beautiful sunshine. Running along the fjord, running basically the opposite direction of the approach of the airplane. And wow, it is so fantastic to be so close to the water. I even entered at some point a black beach and took a look around at that black beach. And at the same time, there are high mountains right next to you. So this was so incredible, and it's also all this. Yeah, how should I call this? Vast open area situation. So there are not many trees, or hardly any trees. So you can look far into the distance, and it's just grassland, hilly grassland, without any trees. This is so magnificent. This is so cool. It looks stunning. It's absolutely stunning. So the run also was stunning. Got home for breakfast, and then I grabbed the car to continue following the road I was running along. First made a stop at a village, at a small little village I basically stopped at with my run, and the village already looked interesting because it was a very, very small village nestled on the side of the fjord with lots of old looking houses that had some grass on the roofs. This looks so cool, so beautiful, and I really enjoyed exploring that village. Walked there along, explored every corner of that village, found even a little bit of somewhat of a pier-like situation to stand on and have a nice view to the village and out to the fjord. Before I continue on to a very, very special place. It's basically the southwestern end of the isle called Vagar. I stayed on Vagar. I stayed in Servagur. I hope I pronounced this correctly. And yeah, at this point there's a waterfall. And this waterfall falls right into the Atlantic Ocean down from a cliff, and it's such a magnificent place. It's so beautiful. You can stand on the opposite side of that cliff and see how the waterfall falls down there. So this was the perfect start into the Faroe Islands expedition. Man, I stood there, I watched that waterfall, I really enjoyed it. It was really a beautiful place. Great place. There was also a little bit of a small hiking path I followed along to get to a different side where you had a beautiful view down to some cliffs and some big waves and so on. That was fantastic. There were also two guys from Slovakia, and one guy was standing there and screaming for joy for as they saw the waves. So I screamed back, and we had a good chat. We had a good chat then about what our plans are and where we travel and where we're from, and this was cool. It was also a great start, getting right away into a nice conversation, meeting other people at a big cliff. So man, that was cool. So yeah, I started at this point. It was already past noon. I started to feel a little bit hungry, and I thought, okay, I don't want to stay, or I don't want to eat where this parking area is. So I started to drive back because the southwestern part of Varga is basically also the end of the road. So I started to drive back, and I found a small little rear next to the road where you can stop, which had a view to the previous village, this little village, the cozy village. So I was high up on the cliff. I had a beautiful look down to that village. I had a perfect view along the fjord. I was in the sun, and I stopped there and had my lunch break. That was cool. And this is also where we end this part of the story. We end this episode. I think I will continue tomorrow. So yeah, join me tomorrow for the continuation of that story. I hope you enjoyed it so far, and I hope you're joining me tomorrow. Until then, my name is Sebbi. See you!